Hello friends, I'm Razarad. In this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between dashboard and report. These are two critical items for delivering your Power BI content, the visualization elements of your Power BI content to your users. And I often hear this question in my presentations, in my courses, that I can build report, I can build dashboard. Which is better for me to use to deliver my content? What is the actual difference between dashboard or report? Some people, when they create report, they think they are building dashboard, which is a different thing. Some people don't know what are the main functionalities of dashboard versus report. So it's always a question in the mind of Power BI developers that which one is really most important, which one is the one that you should be using to deliver your content, or should be using combination of these two. The concept of dashboard here is going to be explained in this video, and I'm going to explain what is the difference of that with the report, how you can choose which one is best for your implementation. Let's jump into this video. When you are building your Power BI solution, when you are implementing your Power BI solution, and you want to deliver the content, the visualization to your end users, Power BI Desktop builds something we call Power BI Report. And that report is something that when you publish the solution to your users are going to use that. They are going to use the slicers, the interactivity of your report to see your content. But when you go to the Power BI service, to the website of Power BI or Fabric portal, you also did see that there is an element in there that is called dashboard. And you might wonder the difference between these two. Well, there are some differences in the way that you can build them, and there are some differences in the way that they function. Before I show you through demos how it works, it is also important to note that the dashboard concept we are talking about in Power BI is different than the dashboard concept or report concept you see in other visualization tools. In general visualization terms, when we talk about a report, we talk about a grid style tabular view of the content or matrix view of the content with a table visual, with a scroll bar that you set some parameters, filters and slicers, and you see that view of the data like Excel-like, like a report style that you see a table of the data. You don't see much of a visualization of charts, graphics and things like that. That is general definition of a report in general terminology for report in the visualization. And the dashboard, on the other hand side, is called something that has graphics in it. It has a bar chart, it might have pie chart, map visual, it might have a table visual as well, but it has a lot of elements that makes it graphical. That is again a general terminology and definition for dashboard in data visualization. In Power BI, these two are a little bit different. So forget about those general definitions of dashboards and reports. Let's see what this means in Power BI. In Power BI, and I'm going to show you this through my demo here. So I'll jump into my workspace in a list view. So here you can see I have filtered my content to be dashboard, paginated, report and report. Report, I'll just open one of the reports so you can see what this looks like. You've already seen a lot of Power BI reports, I'm sure. If you haven't seen Power BI reports, it's a visual element that can have multiple pages. You see here in this report, I have 2 pages, but it can have like 20, 30 different pages. In each page, I have a group of visualization. As you can see, these visuals can be graphics. They don't have to be a table visual or matrix visual. They can be charts like this. And you have full interactivity in these depending on how the interaction is set up in here. Now, this has slicers as well, which by selecting of that, I'll see everything is filtering, everything is slicing and dicing. This is what we call report. in Power BI terminologies. This is not a dashboard. This is a report. When you build your Power BI solution in Power BI Desktop and publish it to the service, you are building a Power BI report. There is another element that you can create, and when you go to your workspace, you see this under new item, you can search for dashboard. You can see that there is a item for dashboard. So what is a dashboard? I'll just create one from scratch so that you can see what this looks like. When I create a dashboard, I'll set a name for this. I'm going to set today's date for the name of this dashboard, 23rd of September. So this is my dashboard. The dashboard at the beginning doesn't have anything in it. As you can see, this is a blank dashboard. One first thing to understand here is that dashboard can be only created in the website. You can create report in the Power BI Desktop, but dashboard has to be created in the website. There is no way to create the dashboard in Power BI Desktop environment. You can only build reports in there. Dashboard is a website only component. So in this dashboard, what do I have? Can I connect to my semantic model and build visualization? No, actually you cannot. This dashboard is going to be linked to some of the reports elements that you have. Let me go back to my report, to this report. Now, imagine this is a data analysis report of sales data set for some books. And I might have another report that has some information about inventory. I might have another report that has information about some of the open orders. Each of these reports might have 3, 4, 10, 15 different pages in them. I want to create a holistic view of the data in my environment, that when someone logs in to this environment, to Power BI website, I want them to see a little bit of everything. I want them to see the number of open orders in one side. I want them to see like the total sales value, like this sum of sales amount that I have here, to be on the left hand side. I might need to also have like this map visual somewhere in the middle. So a little bit of everything in one page, like a landing page. This landing page, I want to have up-to-date data in it. But this data comes from different reports, and these different reports may not even have the same semantic model. That landing page that I'm talking about is the dashboard. So dashboard is actually a landing page. It's a navigational content. It is a place that me as a user, I will go and look at that dashboard. I will see different tiles in that dashboard. One tile might be related to the sales report. One tile might be related to inventory report. One tile might be related to another page in the sales report. And I'll see the data in that dashboard. When I click on that tile, it will navigate down to the report that I'm looking at. So I'm going to build this. I'm going in my report, let's say I will go and say this item, whatever it is, it's a column chart or something like that. I'm going to add this to the dashboard. To add an item to a dashboard, you usually see this pin visual at the top of the dashboard, at the top of the visual. When you click on this, you can actually pin this to an existing dashboard or to a new dashboard. Because I already created that dashboard, so I would just say to existing dashboard. I can go and select the dashboard if I want to, and I will pin it over there. Now this is already pinned there. If I go to my dashboard right now, you can see this element is there, and I can choose how big this should be, right? Although this looks like a report, but there are differences. I'll show you the difference after I add a couple of more tiles into that. I'll go back to report. Let's say one of the other things I decide to add here is this map visual. I'll go to this page and I say pin visual. And I pin that to the same dashboard. Right? So now in my dashboard I have these two. I can also go to another report just for showing you that this can come from two different reports. I'll go and find something different. I want to bring a little bit different report if I can find something in here. Now there are a lot of reports that may not have anything. informational in it, but I'll just go and choose this one. I hope this one has something in it, some visualizations. Well, this was not a good report to start with, so I'll go to this report as an example, right? And I pin this visual into this report, into that dashboard. So same dashboard, I have pinned visuals from different reports, and you can see it here. So now this looks like a report. Let me talk about this. This looks like a report, but in fact it is different than a report. In a report, when you click on a column chart, when you click on a column inside a column chart, it will highlight that. The rest of the visuals get filtered and sliced and diced. But here, if I click anywhere in this column chart, you see what happens. When I click on this, it actually opens the report page that includes this chart. This is that report page. So dashboard acted like a navigational element for me. I'll go back to dashboard again. This time I click on the map visual. It goes to the page that includes that map visual. I'll go back to dashboard. I'll click this time on this, and it opens the report that includes this visual. So what happens here is that I have a visual element here, dashboard, that shows me the data. This is up-to-date data. If the semantic model behind the scene data changes, updates through scheduled process, I will also see the up-to-date data here. But then when I click on these, it is actually navigating to the report underneath. So consider dashboard as a navigational item, whereas the report is not for navigation. When you are in the report, you use the report for slicing and dicing. You see what happens when I click slice and dice. I do use a slicer here, whereas in dashboard you cannot use a slicer. We had this feature called pin live page, which would allow you to pin the entire report page inside the dashboard, which was not really much useful, because what is the point of having that inside the dashboard? You could just simply use the report instead. So one difference in this case is that dashboard is not for slicing and dicing, report is. Dashboard instead is for navigation, right? Like high-level view. You can customize this. You can say, well, I want the map to be down here. I want this to be bigger. You build the structure that you want to build for this. Even if you want to build this for mobile view, you'll go to edit, and you'll choose mobile layout. You'll see this with the layout of the mobile. You might say, well, in the layout of the mobile, I want this to be down. I want this to be bigger. You change their order, or you might say, I don't want map to be in mobile view at all. So you have one web layout, which you can go back to web layout like this, which is like this, and you have a mobile layout. Now we have mobile layout and web layout for Power BI report as well, which you can set it a little bit differently, but kind of the same concept. In addition to these, we also have the Q&A on top of the dashboard. This is where we can go and ask questions about our data. Now the thing is that here, this dashboard has data coming from multiple semantic models. Here you can ask questions, and any of those semantic models that have this information in it can show you that data. And if you haven't used Q&A at all, it's a great feature. Here you can go and ask questions. I can say, for example, sales amount. This will show me the sales amount value here. I can say sales amount by city. This is going to show me like a chart view of that. Then I can say show this as map. So as a user, I actually have this capability to go and build my own visualizations. Once I build this, I can even pin this back to the dashboard. So as a dashboard user, I have these capabilities. But this is not only limited to dashboard. We also have in Power BI report, we have the Q&A visual capabilities. You can go and add a Q&A visual inside the report and use it. But you have to add it inside the report to use it. Whereas here, everyone who is user of that dashboard would be able to see the Q&A. But their Q&A is for themselves only. If I share this dashboard, this is another thing. If I share this dashboard with someone, all the reports underneath that will be also shared with this one action. Whereas if I share a report, I'm sharing one report at a time. If I look at the lineage view of this content, now this is the item that I have created. This is the dashboard that I have created. By clicking on that three dots, I can go and see the lineage of this. In the view lineage item, I can see what are other elements related to this. So this is my dashboard. As you can see, this dashboard builds its content from two different reports. These two reports comes from two different semantic model from two different data sets. And it is quite possible that one dashboard has items coming from as many as reports you want. With the dashboard, you do not have this ability of having multiple pages. Like in Power BI report, we have multiple pages. Dashboard doesn't have multiple pages, but you have a scroll bar instead. So I can, for example, bring this one down, and I can then scroll down in this, go up or down. You have this capability of going around in the same screen. Dashboard is designed to be put up on a screen, on a wall, for example, like a TV screen, a big screen that you show the dashboard on it. So that is why it doesn't rely much on the interaction. It might be just that screen up on the wall and no one ever goes and touch it or go to a different page. It is always that screen. So you normally build your dashboard with the screen size that you have. Whereas report, because it is interactive, you'll go and design it interactive. A user go and click on different pages. In the page, you go and click on slicers and elements like that. Here is one big difference between report and dashboard. This is, in my view, one of the most important differences between these two. Report is not real-time component. Dashboard is a real-time component. What I mean by that? What I mean by that is that if I have this dashboard open, and I also have this report open. Now assume that these two are opened in two separate windows, right? I have in one screen the report, in another screen the dashboard. And the data set, the semantic model behind this, is scheduled to refresh. Like for example, right now is 10:27. At 10:30, let's say that semantic model refreshes. When the semantic model refreshes, when I have new data, when I have changed data, my dashboard page without any interaction will automatically update. So if this number was 108, after the change is 110, I would see 110 without clicking on anywhere, without doing any refreshes. Whereas my report would still show whatever was before the refresh. The reason that report is not automatically refreshed is that the report is normally used for reconciling the values. If I'm a user, I'm reconciling the value of this with the paper that I have in my hand or with the source system, and suddenly behind the scene semantic model refreshes, my report automatically refreshes. It's a little bit hard to do reconciliation and things like that for my data analytics purpose. So report by design is not designed as a real-time element. However, there are some scenarios that you can make your report to automatically refresh. You can use direct query, you can set up auto-page refresh if you are using direct lake, things like that. But if we put those aside, the normal behavior of a report is it will not automatically refresh when the data set changes, whereas dashboard automatically refreshes. And this brings also us to the same concept that I talked about, that if I have a TV screen on the wall, if it is in the factory floor, my factory workers are looking at this, they will see immediately that there is a new order coming up, or the number of open orders, open tickets is increased, decreased. They see this immediately, which makes dashboard a really useful, critical component for visualization in real-time intelligence solutions. And in RTI, real-time intelligence, we have a really big usage of dashboard and some of the visuals that can show you immediately when the value goes up or down. This is, in my view, one of the biggest difference between dashboard and report. Back in the days, another difference, back in the days, in dashboard you could define alerts. if you had a visual that was just like one single value, not on these visuals, for example, but if I go and add a card visual that has just one single value, like this one, if I pin this to my dashboard, and then I go to the dashboard, with this visual, I can go and manage alerts. And here is the place that I can go and build the alert. Now, I have another video that I explained how you can create alerts. It's a really simple process. This supposed to be only possible in the dashboard, Power BI dashboard. You could not do that in Power BI report up until like a few months ago, or a little bit more than that, like a year ago. Now that Microsoft Fabric is announced with features such as Data Activator, even in the Power BI report, we have the ability to go and define alerts. So if I go to any of these reports, you see that at the top of the report, I would also have the option to set the alert, and I can add alert and choose what alert rule that I want. And this is even much more comprehensive than the dashboard alert. However, this would require Fabric licensing, whereas dashboard alert doesn't. It can work with Power BI licensing. I have explained in detail exactly what is report alert, what is dashboard alert, what is their differences. So right now, I would not consider this as a big difference, creating alerts in one, not creating it in another. There are some interactivity options that can be available here. Like for example, on each visual, I can go and see view insight, but also in the reports, we have some information that can help us to get some information like these in the report view as well. So these are not big differences in my point of view, or things such as, for example, subscribe to report or dashboard exist in both. Commentary or chat in Teams kind of exist in both of these as well. You can see that you can share this through Teams and enable some chatting communications. In my point of view, the biggest difference between dashboard and report are two things. One thing is that dashboard serves a totally different purpose than report. Dashboard is a navigational point of view. It's like a home page, landing page, where from there you'll go to different reports. So if you have like 30 different reports, this is a good element to use. The second difference is that dashboard is real time. As soon as the change happens, you see it in the dashboard without doing interaction. Report, on the other hand side, is for data analytics, for slicing and dicing. It's not real time. It is for analyzing whatever data you have. Now, do you need to use dashboard or report? Depending on, do you have these requirements that I talked about? Do you want to show this on a screen, on a wall, that the data changes as soon as something happens? Do you want like a landing page? Is there implementations in Power BI that do not use dashboard, and are they okay? Yes, I have seen a lot of organizations, and I have even advised a lot of organizations to use Power BI without creating dashboard, because there was no point for them to use dashboard. They use something like Power BI app or Workspace app for their navigation. They don't have real-time component in it, so they just use report. They might have plenty of reports, but that organizational app or Power BI app, which I have explained separately, give them the navigational point of view. So you do not have to use dashboard. You can use dashboard. It might give you some benefits, but you do not have to. Remember that this is a website only feature. You do not have it in the desktop. You cannot build it in the desktop, whereas report is something you can build it in the desktop. But considering that these days everything is moving toward building experience in the web, this might not be a drawback. I hope this video helped you to understand what is dashboard, what is report, how to choose the right one, how to choose the combination of these in your implementations. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments below. We in Power BI do consulting and training on Power BI and Microsoft Fabric, and we'll be happy to talk with you about your requirement, and you might be with us in our next training. I hope this helped you. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe into our YouTube channel. We have weekly videos about Microsoft Fabric and Power BI. Until the next video, bye.